Hey, everybody. Randy Patterson here with Boomerocity. You know, I'm always amazed and amused at the people I get to talk to because I'm just a fan. I'm not a journalist. I'm not a former DJ or current DJ or anything like that. I'm just like you, a fan who loves great music. And I is always thrilled when I get to talk to some of the people that I've thoroughly enjoyed listening to over the years. And the guys in the Fabulous Thunderbirds are one of those groups of guys that I just, so far uh, in the past, as you know, I've got to talk to Jimmy Vaughn a few times. And now today I got to talk to the band's uh, lead singer, Kim Wilson of the Fabulous Thunderbirds. And wow, what an honor, what a thrill that was. Loved their music ever since they hit it big back in the 80s when I first heard them at least. And gosh, just great talent, great stories, great songs. I mean, if you've listened to music at all, you've heard of the Fab T-Birds and songs like Wrap It Up, I'll Take It, Tough Enough, and on and on and on. And so this interview with Kim Wilson is about the band's new album, uh, Struck Down. And man, every song on this album is single worthy. Every song on this album should be on the radio. No exaggeration. And you're going to see some great names on there helping the band out. People like Billy Gibbons and Bonnie Raitt and several others. Get the album. If you haven't even heard a song on it, if you know you like the Fabulous Thunderbirds, go ahead and order this album. Don't just stream it, order it, buy it, help the band out because they're worthy of your investment if you enjoy their music. So please, as always, if you would just hit like as you listen to this interview, hit subscribe on whatever platform you're watching or listening to it on. And if you would, share it with your friends and ask them to do the same thing. It won't cost you a dime and it helps us out a lot. So without any further ado, here's my first of what I hope are many more interviews to come with Kim Wilson of the Fabulous Thunderbirds. Until next time, this is Randy Patterson with Boomerocity. Take care. Hello, Kim.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Gotta love this technology, huh?
Unbelievable. Well, I love the backdrop.
Well, I thought you might be a little biased towards it. So where are you dialing in from?
San Juan Capistrano, California.
Oh, ugly, ugly place. I hate it for you. Well, I'm reaching you from the Great Smoky Mountains of East Tennessee. So
Wow.
I'm a
Well, that's a beautiful place as well.
yeah, a couple miles up from Dollywood. So today I can hear the train whistle blow as they run the train through the park. So it's a fun place to live. Well, Kim, thanks so much for joining me today. It's an honor. I've been following you for years, and I want to thank you for all the years of great music. And I'm going to close out of my email so that I don't hear pings all through this interview. But I've had the privilege of interviewing one of your former bandmates for a few times, and that was old Jimmy Vaughn. So
oh, wow.
He's a great guy to talk to, and I've been looking forward to talking to you as well. So my bucket list just got shorter. So
cool.
So thanks a million. Hey, as far as this album goes, man, I'm just blown away by it because all the names you had joining you, the songs themselves are great. Tell me about this album, how it came about, what's the backstory to it, all of that.
Well, the guy from Jeff from Stony Plain called us, said, I'd like to sign you. And they were offering a real budget, which is incredible these days.
Yeah.
But he said, there's one stipulation, you have to write with my guy. And I told my manager, Glenn, who was also a co-producer on this record, I said, I can't do that. And Glenn said, well, just try it. So Steve Strongman, who is Canadian, he came down here, stayed at actually a hotel for 3 days, And we wrote 5 songs in 3 days. He came back for another 3 days, and we wrote 12. So I guess there was some chemistry there.
Yeah, it worked.
My manager was saying, if he doesn't work out, I'll take him out the night he gets here. But great musician, great guy. Plays a lot of guitar on this CD as well. Plays the solo on Struck Down, and he plays another small solo on Don't Make No Sense. And he's got little bits and pieces all over the place.
Wow. Well,
So
it almost had to feel like fate or serendipity or something, huh?
yeah. This CD has taken on a life of its own already. I mean, with all the guest stars and just how it sounds and the material. It really is the best thing we've done. And I think that the first time in my life I've got a real band, which is like, it blows my mind at this age to be able to have a band of people with this kind of skill. There's always been a piece missing here and there, that I wasn't comfortable with. And so I've got all my guys. I got all my ducks in a row. And I think that, like I say, between, Shelley Yakis is the guy who mixed this record, who is maybe the greatest mixing engineer of all time. And Sterling Sound mastered it. Between that and the material and the performances, I mean, it's the best. It's the best we've done, for sure.
How'd you get all these guests together? I mean, I'm sure over the years you've developed all these relationships and such, but still, I mean, it's tough to get everybody. I mean, I realize it's not everybody showing up at one time, that kind of thing, but how'd you get this group together?
I just made phone calls.
Wow.
Said, can you help me out here? And they said yes, which is like, wow. But I mean, yes, I have made friends over the years. I mean, Billy Gibbons, Bonnie Raitt, Taj. Taj was one of my first influences ever. Keb Mo, who I've done some work with and have seen him do some great things. And did I mention Gibbons?
Yeah.
Billy Gibbons. Billy Gibbons is, he knows how to make a record, this guy.
Yeah.
And then we've got Terrence Simeon playing rubboard and squeeze box on Don't Make No Sense, and Elvin Bishop and Mick Fleetwood.
How'd you pull that one off? I mean, the others are big, and I can, that's impressive enough. But getting Mick Fleetwood in, how'd you do that?
Well, my manager used to manage Stevie Nicks, so Mick Fleetwood is a friend of his. So it's great to have him on there, and then he plays his butt off. That's the only song. The one where all 5 of us are on, is the only non-original on the whole thing. And it's a Memphis Mini song, Nothing in Ramblin'. And that's the song that we, Kevin and Bonnie and myself, did on David Letterman, and got great response. Had to do it.
Very cool. Very cool. How is this album different? I mean, you already said that you feel like it's the best ever that you've done. How was it different putting this album together compared to all the others you've worked on?
It was very comfortable, for one thing. I mean, that's how it was kind of different. I'd already had a lot of experience in the studio, and we went to this great place, Ponderosa, up in New Jersey, where you could stay. So we stayed in the studio, myself and Strongman. The drummer and the bass player already lived there. Johnny came a little later. And Johnny's been in my band for 17 years, outside of about a year and a half. So it was just, the whole situation was very easy. You have your coffee in the morning and your bagel, you get into work as late as you want, just walk upstairs and go to sleep. It was great, and out in the countryside of New Jersey, if you can believe that. There's some beautiful countryside there.
I had no idea.
Really? Yeah, it's not just Newark. You know what I mean?
Right.
But or Scranton.
Yeah.
Or Scranton, New Jersey.
I've been through it. Yeah. Just kept driving.
Corridor, baby. Yeah. But beautiful countryside, deer in the pasture at night, cows, horses, and it was great. And they were very accommodating. Great engineers in there.
Mhm.
So it was a ball. And we'd already been in, we'd done a little rehearsing of the material. Strongman and I came in. We did rough things with just guitar, vocal, and harmonica. And then we took it to another spot in New Jersey, and we rehearsed it. And then we came in the studio a month later and cut it. And so we were ready.
What was the biggest surprise in putting this record together? I mean, I realize that by now you're probably maybe a little jaded on the process, but everybody I talk to always seems to experience some sort of surprise on the new record. What was it for you?
Maybe the ease of it. I mean, I knew it was going to be easier than most because everybody's on the same page, and it was just, I don't know, it went very smoothly. We came in 5 days under the allotted time that we had.
Nice.
So it must have been kind of smooth to do that. And, it was just great to see these songs that we worked hard on to come to fruition and take shape. And this kind of band, it's very rare to have people who are just happy to be there. No egos. It was very, very smooth. And that's very surprising, to be honest with you. You can't, I had some solo sessions that were like that, but this is the first T-Bird session I think that's been totally like that. Nice. And I just can't say enough about the players. The players that I have now are just incredible, and they're it's starting to catch on.
Yep.
Because people are becoming aware of what a great band this is.
Absolutely. I know you're not supposed to ask what your favorite song is, because it's kind of like asking who your favorite child is, and we're not supposed to do that. But maybe we are. I don't know. But for promotional sake, which song on the album would you point to and say, hey, it'd be kind of like a calling card, that if you told fans, hey, if you like this song, you're really going to love the rest of the record?
Well, the first single, Payback Time. I've had that song for a while.
Really?
Yeah. And then Steve came in and we buffed it out, like the songwriting process. But anyway, the other one would be Struck Down, probably. I had that song for a while. That's kind of a COVID song, because I was writing that during the whole COVID thing. And then Steve came in. The thing about the songwriting process is it makes it a lot easier if you're both prepared. I had a bunch of material. Steve had a bunch of material, and we just buffed out each other's stuff and made it where it was recordable. So he was essential in that. Like I say, I had both those songs. I had, but we fleshed out the lyrics, got an actual arrangement going, and there's really every song on this record I could point. Let's see, Struck Down, Payback Time, Sideline is kind of a sleeper. I think that that could be a single. There's a lot of songs on this album that could be singles. There's no filler on this. They're all really good.
I agree. And,
so,
as a fan, that's what I love to hear is, where, you listen to a whole album and you go, crap, each one of these could be on the radio, or each one of these should be a fan favorite of some sort, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And I think that, once again, you have to be prepared. I think this is the most prepared I've been between the songwriting and the rehearsing and all that stuff. It's the most prepared I've been for any record. So it's important, it's important. Not to mention that I'm comfortable in my own skin. These guys just make me feel comfortable in there. And it's a team effort, no doubt. Because the team is what makes it go round. You're only as good as the people that you work with.
That's right.
That's it,
What kind of, I mean, I know the album, as we're recording, as we're talking today, the album's not out yet. And so, but you have the singles, kind of teasing the fan base a bit. Of those who have heard the whole album, what kind of feedback are you getting?
Fantastic. It's all been great. The feedback is wonderful. We are playing 3 or 4 or 5 songs off the record live already.
I was going to ask you that.
Response has been great. Response is fantastic. It's been, I mean, what's not to like? Sonically, what Shelley, I can't say how important he was. Between Shelley and Sterling Sound, I can't remember the guy's name over at Sterling Sound. I'm very sorry. But they were just immediately got into it. When we went to Shelley to mix this record, we said, listen, man, can you help us out? This guy's mixed. I think his first record was Big Pink.
Oh, Lord.
That was his first. That's the first thing on his resume. Aretha, I think he did U2. I think he'd done hundreds of records. He was responsible for 70 million in record sales.
Wow.
So, yeah. He was the greatest of all time, really. I mean, so to get him involved in this, and the first thing he said to me was, and he's a sweetheart of a guy. I mean, he's a fantastic person, great sense of humor. And the first thing he said was, you have to mix with emotion. And I went, oh, we're going to get along just fine. Because, I don't think I've ever heard anybody say that. Not to me, anyway. So he's an old school guy that knows how to do modern things. That's kind of like me. This album has taken on a life of its own. Between people like Shelley and the guy over Sterling Sound and my manager and Strongman and all the guest artists, I can just see things happening. I can see the great things happening, and at the very least, it's a wonderful start.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I love it. I think I can't wait to hear some of the songs live myself. I want to get to that in a moment, but I want to shift gears for just a moment here. And over the catalog of the T-Birds, is there, especially with the big hits you guys had, is there a particular story that is close to your heart about any of the songs, whether it's how you put certain songs together, certain hits, that there's a backstory that maybe a lot of people don't know about, or maybe fan stories that you have been told that touched you deeply as far as what those songs meant to them?
Well, if you're talking about the whole catalog,
yeah,
Tough Enough was written on a barf bag in between Dallas and Austin. And that's the truth. There were no voice recorders or anything like that. Songs like Wait on Time. I mean, Wait on Time, that was one of our very first record that we did. And, there was a guy in Waco. We were playing at this old hall that Otis Redding and Little Richard and all these, incredible artists had played. There was this old guy over there, and he had a old 51 Chevy with about 10 antennas on it and all these homemade weapons in the trunk. He was the security guy.
Yes.
Yeah. So he said, y'all just wait on time. You're going to make it. Just wait on time. So I went, ooh. And so, things like that. As far as fans' responses, I've had people say, okay, that was my first date
Wow.
going to that show or listening to that record. My first child was conceived to that to that song. So there's some stories out there. I mean, that it's been a great run. I mean, even though there have been some lows, my philosophy is make your lows not that low and make your highs way up.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
agree.
kind of the way it's been. So I'm ready for another big high coming
Ooh.
up.
You mentioned my old stomping grounds. I moved here from Dallas. I was actually born near here, but I spent 20 some odd years in the Dallas area, so I'm quite familiar with it. And I lived there um, when Stevie was killed. And I was just, were you at the funeral?
I was at the funeral, yes.
Okay, I was too, believe it or not. I was out in the crowd. Funny story about it that I won't bore you with here, but I got in a lot of trouble for that one. But yeah, I was there at the funeral. What an amazing seeing Bonnie, Stevie Wonder, and Jackson
Yeah.
Brown singing "Amazing Grace" a cappella. That's when I walked up, man. That I felt like heaven was there. But
Yeah.
just a side story or side question I wanted to ask you there. What, as far as on your radar? How tour support, obviously, for this album? What's on the agenda for that?
Well, we're just going to work it. I mean, yeah, there'll be some tour support. Yeah, we're just going to be doing like we usually do, except more of it. And we've been touring and we tour every year. We're not a band that tours every 4 years. We tour
Right.
every year as much as we can. So you're going to go to the same venue once every couple years, even once a year, never more than that. But we're going international. We're playing Bilbao, Spain, big festival there, and we're doing a couple shows. Those are club dates actually in Germany. Then we're going to Notodden, Norway, which is a place where they turn the whole town into a festival. I don't know if you've heard about this.
I have, yeah.
It's insane. And then we go to Estonia after that. And and then we're playing a bunch of dates in the States, before and after that. It's a lot of work, but that's what I signed up for. And I think that you got to show people what you have.
I agree.
Let people know that this thing is really happening.
Well, and the fact that when I see you and your peers do what you do for so long, and there are those who, when you hear them, you think, okay, maybe they should hang it up. Nothing against that, but you still love them for the musical memories they gave us, but they shouldn't be touring. And I won't mention names. But then when guys like you guys and your peers that still got it and maybe even sound better than ever, wow, what a treat that is for us fans, and I think a lot of us don't really realize what that really means, because the road and the constant singing and all that, it takes a toll on your body. It takes a toll on your vocal cords, your muscles, your joints. We all get old, right? And yet you guys are out there kicking major butt, and that's what blows my mind. Do you know offhand if you're going to be anywhere in the East Tennessee area so I can come see you?
Not offhand.
Okay,
but
I'll check it out. I'll look it up, and I'll get with Mark and see if we can get together on that.
That would be great.
Final question for you. I know you got a lot going on, but and it's not meant to be a macabre question at all, but if once you step off of that great tour bus of life up at the great gig in the sky, how do you want to be remembered, and what do you hope your legacy is?
Well, I'd like my legacy to be considered as I consider my heroes. People like Muddy Waters, people like B.B. King, people like Little Walter, George Harmonica Smith, James Cotton, all these people that I've worked with.
Mhm.
But I've been so fortunate, and I love them all. And I'm just so sad that most of them are gone now.
Yeah.
But that's how I want to be remembered. And I want to be remembered as a guy who maybe kept it real the whole time.
From where I said, I think you've done exactly that. And as a fan, I appreciate that more than you'll ever know. But I've got to comment, those 2 paintings behind you, man, I love those.
Yeah.
I'd love to steal them while you're not looking. They're really cool.
Susan, they're actually lithographs. Susan Dissinger or Dysinger from in Laguna Beach over here. And there's another one that's really great too. But that's Cleveland and Clifton.
Ah, yeah.
The young Cleveland and Clifton.
Mhm.
And then that's Miles and Coltrane.
Oh, wow. Wow. I love those, man. Those are cool.
Yeah, they're fantastic. They're one of my prized possessions, 3 of my prized possessions.
You can't see in here because I have the virtual backdrop up, but I have some Michael Cheval paintings. He gave me a couple of them after interviews with him, but he's had what he calls the absurdity genre of painting, and he's done some album covers. Look him up sometime. But he's not. It's completely different kind of art than that. But I just love music themed art, and yours just really caught my attention there. But
that's great. Yeah, I'm glad you appreciate that. She's really fantastic. I wish I had more stuff by her.
Yeah,
I may have to look her up and see what she's got going on, because when I saw these, I just snatched them up. There's an art fair down here in Laguna Beach every year.
Mm-hmm.
I got these quite a while ago,
wow.
But they just hit me.
Yeah.
It's really all I can afford. 3.
Yeah, that artwork. You got to pay for the talent. That's for sure. But,
that's right.
Well, Kim, this was a lot of fun. Thank you so much again for all the years of music. Thank you for meeting up with me like this. And it goes without saying, my door is always open to you. So anytime you, as a solo artist or with the band or any other band that you want to work with, have something coming out, I would love to talk to you about it with one of these Zoom calls. And hopefully I can see you at a show here in the coming months.
I hope so too. And thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate you.
All right. Well, the pleasure is all mine. Take care, stay safe, and we'll catch you at a show soon.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.